Adam Cole, baby! How's it going, everyone? Today I'm here with my WWE NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 review. Of course, as you guys can tell by the beginning of this video, huge, not really a huge spoiler, but of course kind of plays in towards the main event, what happens at the end of the show for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Overall, I gotta say, another great show here from NXT. Very, very fun show from top to bottom. I don't think it topped, the last couple years of TakeOver Brooklyn. I know a lot of people are saying this is a show of the year candidate. Honestly, I don't think so. Even though I still thought it was a great show and had a lot of fun. I don't think this topped TakeOver Chicago in May. So I don't think it's the NXT TakeOver of the year or anything by far. But this is definitely a very fun TakeOver. I really like the in between matches with, of course, some of the old NXT talents like Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Bayley all in the crowd. He had some nice comedy stuff with Dan O'Brien in the box office with some of the NXT talent like Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Just the overall feel and just presentation of the show I thought was really well done, and made for a lot of fun. So it was a great wrestling show. A lot of superb matches. Nothing, honestly, on this show that's must-see. I think there's one match that's outstanding, but everything else is kind of just really good to great. So it's not that one match that you have to go out of your way to see, if you ask me. But that's just my opinion. But still, nonetheless, a great takeover, really fun show. And yeah, SummerSlam's gonna have a pretty tough time topping this show, to be perfectly honest. So of course, the show opened up with Johnny Gargano versus Andrade, Cien, Almas. This match really set the bar high for the rest of the show, because this was a tremendous opening match right here. This was awesome. This is exactly what both men needed. Johnny Gargano has always been showcased in a tag team spotlight, so him and showing off his singles ability was definitely needed to do. And Andrade, Cien, Almas is kind of someone that's been lost and shuffled for ever since he debuted, pretty much. And I feel like this was definitely beneficial for both guys. They were able to go out there and showcase themselves and prove how great they are, and that's exactly what they did in this match right here. I thought they went out there and tore the house down. Match of the night, if you ask me. It's a very fast pace. The crowd is fully invested. A lot of stiff shots from both men. Just a lot of great, creative, smooth, crisp transitions and counters from both men. Zelina Vegas, I believe her name was Vega, something like that. I still don't really know her name. Thea Trinidad. I thought she did a very good job at ringside as Almas's valet. But yeah, great stuff. Like the beginning was very smooth. Gargano was just very grounding. Almost in the beginning, it was very smooth with his transitions, and he's doing a lot of neat and different ways of locking the Gargano escape. Of course, his signature slingshot spear onto Andrade Cien Almas for a nice near fall right there. On the second attempt, Andrade Cien Almas actually caught him into like a DDT where he went down the knee first, and of course hammered down with the elbow in the back of the head. The follow. Just good back and forth action. Like I said, the crowd's really hot into it. Both of them are very smooth and crisp, like I said. A lot of near falls too. I think the crowd was into every near fall, and everything was very believable. A lot of great transitions, and yeah, this was one hell of an opener. A lot of great near falls. Loved the Andrade Cien Almas was doing the rope gimmick where he hits on the rope and poses, and then as he's doing that, Gargano just wails him with a super kick. That was a great spot right there. And yeah, match tonight, if you ask me. Finish was great too. I thought it was definitely a good way to protect Gargano and also build up Almas. Gargano looked like he was locking the win. He had the Gargano escape. Andrade Cien Almas lifted him up, gave him a buckle bomb into the corner, went through the running knees. Gargano moved out of the way, hit a super kick, but he was able to hit the running knees eventually anyways, and then Gargano was lined up for the Gargano escape one more time, but Vega actually threw a DIY t-shirt at Gargano that distraughted him. Andrade Cien Almas hit him with the hammerlock DDT for the victory. So Andrade Cien Almas defeats Johnny Gargano. Hell of an opener, like I said, match tonight, if you ask me. Really enjoyed that one, and I thought it was a great way with the t-shirt, and then, of course, the shot of Gargano staring at the t-shirt after the match is over. I thought that was a phenomenal shot right there. So really liking the way they've been building Johnny Gargano with this whole DIY situation. So yeah, that was really good stuff right there. From there, I'm going to the NXT Tag Team Championship Match, the Authors of Pain versus SAnitY. Originally supposed to be Alexander Wolfe and Killian Dane, but of course there's a huge brawl before the match even started. Both teams was brawling everywhere around the ring. Once the referee rang the bell, Alexander Wolfe was in the ring, and then once he went for the tag, Eric Young actually jumped on the apron and said, "No, you're tagging me." So therefore, the match actually went into Alexander Wolfe and Eric Young taking on the Authors of Pain, which I didn't mind because I saw this match last week at the NXT Live event I went to, and it was a very fun match. And I thought their match here was just as fun as well. I thought it was very equal to that match. You had Alexander Wolfe and Eric Young, have the advantage at the beginning of it, and the Authors of Pain would, utilize their strength and ability and pretty much take control of the match. They're very dominant over Eric Young, majority of it, hitting, various different their tag team maneuvers on him, like the suplex powerbomb combo, which I thought was a great spot right there. Very, very dominant and very grounding of Eric Young. Alexander Wolfe got the hot tag. Went absolutely wild on both members of the Pain, actually hitting a German suplex on one of them. He looked very impressive, so Alexander Wolfe is definitely someone to watch out for. He definitely was a star in this match, if you ask me. There's a key point in the match where the Authors of Pain were going for, where one of them was going for a suplex off the top, but the other one came to assist, tried to do the Tower of Doom spot, but once he did it, Nikki Cross actually held down, I forgot who was receiving it, but she held on the foot of whoever was on there, so the Authors of Pain ended up giving a power bomb to his tag team partner instead, and then Eric Young followed up with a elbow drop for a very nice near fall right there, but the other, I think it was Rezar or whoever, broke with a pin, so the three didn't get counted, and a huge brawl erupted. Nikki Cross got involved at one point, which, she did a dive on the outside, but I think Akam caught her, and then Killian Dane actually ran and gave him just a huge running crossbody through a table, pretty much smashing Nikki Cross between them as well. So I thought that was a great spot right there. That would set up the end, because SAnitY hit a double tag team maneuver onto Rezar, which I believe was a not a back body drop, but like a side suplex, neckbreaker combination, I believe it was, something to that extent, from SAnitY for the 1, 2, 3. So SAnitY become the brand new NXT Tag Team Champions. Very happy about that. Authors of Pain haven't really been keen on, so I didn't mind them losing the tag team titles at all. And yeah, very happy that something fresh is happening, and I like the direction SAnitY is going in. So I definitely thought it was the right decision right there to give SAnitY the tag team titles, and I thought it was an awesome finish to a fun match overall. I really enjoyed that one. Then of course the big event that happened after the match. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish come running through the crowd and attack both Authors of Pain and SAnitY and hold the NXT Tag Team titles up afterwards. Very, very awesome. Both men respectively debuted singly on NXT TV, but here they are finally a duo. Red Dragon is in NXT, took out, like I said, both teams, Chasing the Dragon as well to end it. And just very, very happy to see Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish as the tag team. Red Dragon, they've been a great tag team, for I don't know how many years they've been teaming now, 3 or 4 years. And I'm very happy that, they were able to bring themselves as a tag team to NXT. Because, NXT tag team division is pretty flat, honestly, and they definitely could use a big duo like Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. So, very, very happy they're Red Dragon, because I was kind of worried about when they came in as singles guys that they weren't going to do it, but they are, and I'm very, very happy. So, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly debut as Red Dragon. Very happy about that. Fun match, great aftermath. Really excited to see where the NXT Tag Team division goes forward. From there, I'm going to go to Hideo Itami versus Aleister Black, who has an awesome entrance, by the way. Came out to the band who sings his theme. They played him out to the ring, which I thought was great. And the match itself was, it was good. I thought it could have been better. Honestly, I did feel unsatisfied once it was over. I feel like they could have done so much more. It was very stiff and hard hitting. I believe Aleister Black might have broke his nose. His nose was just bleeding profusely throughout the entire match from Hideo Itami. Itami, again, he's just really crafting into his character. I thought he did a really good job of just being an arrogant heel, mocking Aleister Black at one point doing his pose in the ring. Just pretty much saying, you should respect me throughout the entire match. But, started off with a hard start. They both were just stiffing the shit out of each other. Aleister Black demonstrating his, abilities. And quickly came down to Hideo Itami grounding him, putting him in a rest hold for a big majority of the match, really chopping him down, and really just working over Aleister Black. So I thought for that fact that, it really was more of Itami working on Aleister Black, I was kind of disappointed by it. I really wanted to see them just beat the shit out of each other, which they did, but I just expected more of it. So I guess my expectations were just a little too high for it, but I don't know. The end stretch was really good. They were just beating the shit out of each other, chopping left and right. At one point, they were just smacking the shit out of each other, and you just heard every chop from both men. But Aleister Black gets the victory when it's roundhouse kick on Itami. Itami, trying to set up a GTS, and then runs into the corner, and Aleister Black just nails him with a black mass kick for the victory. So nearly ripping his head off, by the way, might I add. So good match. Just honestly, I expected more, and I felt kind of unsatisfied once it was all over with. But kudos for both men. They beat the shit out of each other, so can't really complain too much about that. From there, I'm going to the NXT Women's Championship match, Asuka versus Ember Moon. This match was a huge step up from their TakeOver Orlando match. I'll say that right now. I thought this match was way better than that one. The crowd was just really more invested. I felt like Ember Moon definitely brought more out of it. You know, immediately once the bell rang, immediately she just drop kicked Asuka and was just very dominant over Asuka. Was trying to do whatever she could to, you know, seduce and, you know, beat Asuka as quickly as she possibly could, pinning her, you know, seconds into the match as well. And I thought the story was really well with Asuka working on Ember Moon's, you know, left arm, because, you know, that plays into not only Asuka's favor, but yeah, it plays in Asuka's favor because she can. That's the arm she locks in with the Asuka lock, and, you know, with the injured arm, you know, Ember Moon can't really hit the Eclipse. So it's a win-win for Asuka in the situation. Both women went out there and just worked their asses off, put on a really good match. I don't think this match is as good as some people are claiming to be. Honestly, for my personal preference, I thought it was great, but not, you know, I've seen some people call this match incredible, which I don't think it was, but they definitely worked their asses off and produced a really fun match with a lot of great counters and a really hot stretch. You know, I think the final stretch of this match really made it, with Ember Moon just absolutely firing up, and, you know, Asuka was just, you know, rejecting everything Ember Moon was throwing at her. Then eventually Ember Moon was getting the upper hand on Asuka, getting some nice, really close near falls. She actually hits a perfect Eclipse on her, a perfect Eclipse. For which everyone thought it was over. Even on commentary saying, "Oh, we have a new NXT Women's Champion," but Asuka kicks out. Crowd's losing their shit from that spot. Ember Moon actually just annihilates Asuka with a super kick, for another great near fall right there. So the ending stretch really made this match, if you ask me. Then of course Asuka locks in the Asuka lock onto Ember Moon, and Ember Moon actually ends up submitting. So Asuka defeats Ember Moon to retain the NXT Women's Championship. Very, very happy about that, because I've been saying all along that Ember Moon should not be the person to dethrone Asuka, and I was very worried that was going to happen here, so I'm very glad it didn't. It's nothing against Ember Moon, I just feel like they haven't built her up for that position, and just honestly, she's not very interesting if you ask me. If there's one person as of right now, it should have been Nikki Cross, but, you know, I think she will be the one to dethrone Asuka. But yeah, and of course afterwards, you know, they try to play that symphony theme with Ember Moon, where, you know, she sits in the ring, kind of looks around disappointed and sad, which I didn't really care for, because like I said, I don't, you know, it doesn't work on me for this story, because they didn't tell a story to the point where I should feel sorry for her for losing. She lost clean as a whistle, so why should I feel bad for her? So, whatever. Great match. Like I said, both women worked their asses off, and you can't really complain. Way better than their TakeOver Orlando match, if you ask me. So, good stuff right there. And then, of course, go to our main event, which was the NXT Championship match. Bobby Roode versus Drew McIntyre, which, by the way, Drew McIntyre had a great entrance, I thought, with the NYPD, you know, bagpipe playing, whatever you want to call it. And then, you know, Bobby Roode just had a generic regular entrance, which I was pretty surprised by. I thought for sure he'd be someone that had a grand entrance, but he just had a regular entrance, which I was kind of surprised by. But this match was really good. You know, I don't think it was great. It was probably the weakest of the title matches, but, you know, I still thought it was fun and enjoyable. I thought maybe it went a little too long, but what can you do? Early on, Drew McIntyre was very dominant of Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode was trying to outsmart Drew McIntyre, like he does for most of his opponents, but Drew McIntyre was not falling for anything he was doing. Drew McIntyre was able to just, you know, throw Bobby Roode around like it was absolutely nothing for the first couple minutes of this match. Then, of course, Bobby Roode, you know, finally was able to outsmart Drew McIntyre and take over a little bit, and became more of an even match. And, you know, people shit on Bobby Roode, and I've seen a lot of people say Bobby Roode sucks. He, you know, he's had a terrible title reign. Bobby Roode's just a different wrestler. I feel like, you know, he wrestles a style that people don't like nowadays, which is more psychology based and, you know, slow, methodical, pretty much like an old school wrestling match, especially a world title match back in the day, which is what I really like about Bobby Roode. I really like the way he wrestles. I like the way he tells the stories, and I think his character and gimmick is great, but a lot of people just aren't digging it. And this match is probably the weakest title match I've seen him have, honestly. You know, it was just, I don't know, something was just missing, if you ask me. Something was off, and both men weren't clicking as well as I thought. Maybe it's because of the fact that they were just having McIntyre throw Bobby Roode around as much as he did. I don't know, but something just wasn't clicking, and just wasn't as good as a title match I've seen Bobby Roode have with Nakamura and Hideo, Itami, and Roderick Strong, you know, over the past couple title matches he's had. So, although it was a really good match, just, it could have been better, and I don't know, it just didn't feel like a main event NXT title match. And I mean, I probably blame them because it wasn't built up that way, but I don't know. You just can't expect these two to go out there and just, you know, just because they're name power, you can't expect it to feel like a big time title match, because it definitely didn't feel that way. But what can you do? He had a nice end stretch with, you know, McIntyre hitting a future shock DDT. Bobby Roode kicked out of that. Was trying to set up the Claymore kick, but Bobby Roode was just playing possum. Laid McIntyre up with the jackknife roll up for a nice near fall right there. Bobby Roode went on the outside. Drew McIntyre hit a tope, which he ate absolute shit on because he barely even touched Bobby Roode on that tope. Threw him back. Bobby Roode got the upper hand a little bit. Hit a glorious DDT on Drew McIntyre for a nice near fall right there. Was trying to set up for a second one. He actually hit a second one, but he was going for a trifecta for a third one. Went for the third one. McIntyre was able to get out of it. was able to hit a Claymore kick out of nowhere to secure the victory. So 1, 2, 3, Drew McIntyre becomes your brand new NXT champion. You know, at first I wasn't in favor of Drew McIntyre dethroning him. I honestly thought Roderick Strong should have been the guy to dethrone Bobby Roode. But just the star presence of Drew McIntyre and just the way he absolutely is, you can't argue that he should have been the person to dethrone Bobby Roode. So no complaints about me, about Drew McIntyre being the one dethroning Bobby Roode. Like I said, really good match. I enjoyed it. You know, psychology. I thought it was good. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but you know, you can't please everyone nowadays, apparently. But of course, just like the NXT Tag Team title match, the aftermath of what made this match, because afterwards, after Drew McIntyre is celebrating, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly come out of nowhere and just, you know, are staring down McIntyre. McIntyre is confronting them, and as he's confronting them, Adam fucking Cole makes his NXT debut, attacking Drew McIntyre and hitting a super kick. Cole, as Steve Corino would say, on Drew McIntyre, and hosting up the NXT Championship to end the show. Words can't express how excited I am for Adam Cole to be in NXT. I've been waiting for this moment for about 4 years now, for Adam Cole to show up there, and he's finally here. And that NXT title, I know McIntyre just won it, but honestly, McIntyre, you're going to be a transitional champion because Adam Cole is winning that title as soon as he possibly can. Most likely the next TakeOver, honestly. I can see him winning it there. So, very, very happy. Adam Cole's in NXT. It's about goddamn time. I like this idea of this faction with him and Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. I wouldn't mind seeing them being a stable. You know, Adam Cole's NXT champion, Red Dragon as NXT Tag Team champions. You can't go really wrong with that, and it definitely adds interest. And you know, NXT is kind of lacking that interest, and I feel like them as a trio brings that interest. So I'm very, very happy to see the future goes for those three. Hopefully championships are in their future, very, very near future, I should say, because obviously they'll be champions one day. But how soon is the question? Hopefully very, very soon. But yeah, that'll do it for my video, guys. Like I said, I thought NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 was a great show. Very, very fun stuff from them. Wouldn't say it's the best TakeOver of the year, nor would I say it's the best TakeOver Brooklyn special so far. Like I said, even though it was a fun show, there wasn't really that match besides the opening match, which I'd say was probably, if anything, would be the match to see. But it had its epic moments. Like I said, of course, you had Red Dragon Adam Cole debuting, so you know it definitely had its moments, but nothing really must see. Besides those two moments, and of course the opening match. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please leave a like below. And as always, I'll see you guys for my SummerSlam review tomorrow night. Thank you guys for watching the video.
No fear, no fear. Blood, sweat, no tears. My God, God's grace, I'm here. Yeah.